I wanted to make a video today about my path to becoming a developer because when I was on that path, I watched a lot of videos like this and I had a hard time relating to a lot of them. But I think coming from my background, I can relate, or more people can relate to me. And I think I have something valuable to offer in this. So thanks for watching. And basically, I just wanted to, again, tell you about my path to becoming a developer. So, my name's Chris. I'm 30 years old right now. Um, as we talk here, I'm taking a break from my workday at home. I live in Paris, France now. Obviously, not from Paris, originally from the US. But the reason that I'm now sitting at home, working from the comfort of my own home in Paris, is because 2.5, 3 years ago, I decided to learn how to code. And I don't have a college degree of any kind. A lot of people out there will say, "Oh, you don't need a computer science degree," even though they have a computer science or engineering degree hanging on the wall behind them. So I had a hard time relating to that when a lot of people would say things like that. So basically, I wanted to come on here and tell you that it is possible because I do not have a college degree. I don't even have a high school diploma. I got my GED, which, if you're outside the US, we call that a good enough diploma. But it's basically when you don't finish high school, you can go and just take a big, massive test and get an equivalent to a diploma. So I don't have the education background, but I after high school, when I got my GED, I just got a random sales job, customer service jobs. I did all kinds of different stuff, and I didn't really ever feel like I had a real career skill until a couple years ago. Somebody recommended me that maybe I should try learning how to code. And I kept seeing this, buzzwords of self-taught developers and, no college degree required. And I thought, maybe this is something I can look into. And I can tell you right now that the hype is real. Because again, I without a college degree or high school diploma, it's just crazy to me that I'm now sitting here in Paris in my apartment that I love. It's comfortable, it's nice. I'm working from home and I'm working on other projects now because of these skills I have. And I'm even able to, do these YouTube videos with actually something to talk about and bringing some value, which I think is important. So, all of that spawned from the fact that I learned to code. And the way I went about it is when someone told me that I should look into it, I just went straight to YouTube and I started searching, web developer tutorials, coding tutorials, and I kind of saw what was popular. I did some research and figured out, okay, well, maybe there's the front end, there's the back end, there's full stack, and I leaned more toward front end in the beginning just because I like art, I like the creative process, I'm a musician, so that kind of interested me more. And that put me on the path of learning the front end trinity, the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I learned a lot by using things like YouTube and Udemy. I remember taking Colt Steele's web developer bootcamp, which was amazing. I mean, I felt confident by the end of that I could make a full blown application or website. And after that, I wanted to take it kind of a step further and take it serious. So I went to a coding boot camp that lasted for 4 months. And the reason I did that was because not only to keep learning, because I really think that everything I learned in boot camp I could have learned on my own on YouTube and Udemy, but I wanted to be in that environment around real developers and other people who were interested in learning to code because everybody knows it's all about who you know. So I wanted to do it for networking purposes. And in the end, it helped me a little bit, but it didn't put me where I am today. I am where I am today in Paris because of the things that I did alone. I personally spent so much time applying for jobs here because I wanted to move here. It's always been like a dream of mine to live abroad, and I found a job here, which is awesome. They were willing to hire me, they were willing to help me with my visa, all this stuff. Again, all because I took that step of learning how to code. So, I just wanted to give you a little bit of motivation that it's totally possible coming from a 30-year-old with no college degree, no high school diploma, no major background other than sales and customer service, to within less than 3 years. And don't get me wrong, I had a job around a year after I decided to start learning how to code, because these days so many companies don't care about the college degree when it comes to coding, because they know of things like self-teaching and boot camp and online education. And really all they want, I mean, if somebody can pass the coding challenges that they give you, which if you're doing it at home, really all you need to do is be really good at using Google, because that's one of the biggest skills as a developer, is being able to learn new things in a rapid pace. So if you can prove that to them, the college degree doesn't matter, and you're going to learn so much on the job when you start working that it really doesn't even matter. I mean, I came into this job in Paris with obviously some experience, but they were using a stack that I had never even touched, like 2 out of the 3 of the languages. They're using Ruby on Rails, which I had never used, and Ruby on Rails has a HTML framework called Haml. Never used that, and I had never used Sass either. And now I'm super comfortable with all that stuff after about 6 months of working at this job. So you get a lot of on-the-job training. All the resources that you're going to need for education are available free online. And I just think there's really not many other careers out there that pay well, that have a you know a huge potential for jobs. I mean, these stats say by 2020 there's going to be over 1 million unfulfilled tech jobs in the US. I mean, that's huge. So good money, lots of job opportunities, and you don't need a college degree. So I think there you really can't find much else that's like that, and not only that does it open up the opportunity of a new career, but when you know how to code, you can do freelance work, which I've done before. You be your own boss, work on your own pace, charge whatever you want to charge. You can get a great job. You can, make websites for your friends and things like that. You have a huge sphere of people around you that can use your skills and are willing to pay you for them. And also now I've learned over time by helping other people and tutoring some people that I really like teaching. So now I'm taking what I've learned over the last few years and I'm helping other people get started on the same path, which is what I wanted to start this YouTube channel about and dedicate the channel to, is really teaching in an easy, fun, interesting way without being boring, because usually learning is boring, and I don't want, I don't think anybody wants to be bored when they're trying to learn something new, and it's not very motivating. So I'm going to do my best to keep the tutorials short, post often, keep it fun, lighthearted, and just keep reminding you that this is something you can do. It may take you some time. Maybe you have a full-time job right now and bills, but honestly, if you can put an hour or two a day towards learning to code, I mean, 6 months from now, you're going to have a pretty dang good, solid foundation to where you might even be able to pick up some freelance work on the side. Because one of the other things about coding is that people who aren't involved in the world of development, they're kind of clueless when it comes to this stuff. I mean, one of my first freelance projects, I got in touch with a guy through someone I met at the boot camp. So that's go back to where I said about networking. And he kind of came to me and said, this is what I'm trying to do. I don't know how to do it. I don't know the best way to approach it. And what he told me, it clicked in my head that, like, okay, well, this is an automated thing that you want to do. You want to automate a process. And knowing what I knew from learning to code and hearing and just being involved in that world, Python just clicked in my head. And I've never written a single line of Python, but I told the guy, yeah, I'll do it. Give me a few days to look into it and see how the best way to go about it is, and I'll get back to you with a quote. And he said, great. So I went home. I bought a $10 course on Udemy on Python. I spent the entire probably day and a half, like 12, 16 hours going through this course, finishing it. And I had a pretty good understanding of Python, and I gave him a quote. He agreed, and I started working. And I've worked with this guy on and off for months. And I made a really good amount of money. I was able to work on my own terms. It facilitated the period in between when I left my last job in the US and I moved to Paris. So, I was making good money working for myself, self-employed, 2 years after I went to this boot camp. So it's a pretty quick turnaround. I mean, 2 years is kind of a long time, but also if you think that 2 years from today, you could be working a totally new career, be getting paid better, and have way more opportunities. It's awesome. There's not many things like out there that compare to that. So sorry if this video is a little bit rambly or ranty, but I didn't write a script. I just wanted to talk, naturally about my experience and tell you that it's totally possible. It's true that you don't need a college degree to become a developer. It just takes hard work and dedication, and there's a ton of opportunities out there for you. So if this video brought you any kind of value, or if you learned something, I'd really appreciate a like or a subscribe. I'm new to YouTube, so we'll see how this channel thing goes. I don't know much about it, but I'll be back soon with some content about actual coding. I'm going to talk a lot about JavaScript because HTML and CSS is something I really think you can learn pretty easy. There's a ton of resources online for it, and I'll point you to those too. I'll make a video about that. And if you're on the path of becoming a developer and you're still not quite sure about some things, leave me a comment and I'd be happy to make a video about it. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.